What's up, everybody? No facial hair. What? I said on Facebook that I was not going to do any videos until I get some growthage back. Yeah, I'm failing. Just because I have something that I just kind of want to... And I put this hat on. I don't need my hat, but listen, trust me. No. I'm just saying. Can't wait to get my hair back. He stands what I'm talking about. He stands what I'm talking about. Back in the day, when I first started, it was a lot different world than what it is now. It's just what it is. So there's a disconnect with drivers today, the new drivers today, than what there was back in the day. I tell you, when I first started, and I don't want to sound like one of those old guys sitting there in a TV room talking about, when I first started back 30 years ago. I don't want to be those guys. But when I first started 15 years ago, there was a level of coolness to a truck driver. And the thing that you had to get once you got into your own truck was a CB radio. A CB daggum radio. A CB radio. Now, sometime between then and now, that's changed. These people coming out, they don't get radios right off the bat. And I don't get it. I don't get it. That's part of trucking. That's part of the lifestyle that made trucking cool back in the day. Now it's not anymore. People wanted to have the biggest radio, the coolest sounding radio, maybe a little chirps when you first key up, and a Roger fart. I got Roger fart on mine, by the way, and it sounds really good. They don't get that anymore. Drivers going down the road. Me being a ham operator, you get going down the road, and maybe you want to have a conversation on HF. You don't have that anymore as much. I mean, the older drivers do. It's there with the older drivers. There was a certain kind of persona that drivers had. One of the things that really I loved, I worked in a warehouse. Some of y'all may have been there. PetSmart Distribution Center in Ennis, Texas. Some of y'all may have been there. Well, back in the day, late 90s, early 2000s, I worked there. And I worked my way up to a receiving supervisor. And I'd check in a lot of drivers and put them in a door. And they'd have the little driver's area. And I would listen to them talk. And I'm like, these guys have a lot of freaking time to think about stuff. Because some of the things that they talked about was like, woohoo, woohoo. I mean, out there. I mean, just, I'm like, what? But, listen, I thought that was cool. I thought, those guys, they're open-minded. They may be a little kooky, but they're open-minded. They always had an opinion about something. You just ask somebody, what their opinion is. They'll tell you. So, I think that one of the things that makes trucking cool is for drivers to be able to actually have this, opinion about something. Of course, nowadays with social media, People look down on you if you have an opinion about something, you know. It's like this whole PC, and truckers aren't supposed to be PC, you know. Truckers ain't. We're supposed to be out there a little bit, you know, because we got time to think and listen. And then we got podcasts and all this stuff we can listen to going down the road. You know, used to, you could sit there and listen to politics on the radio. We don't get that anymore. You know, no one talks on it because no one has them. They got a $500 GPS unit, but they don't have a CB radio. I don't get it. So, you know, and to me, another thing, even though there was a lot of cool looking trucks and stuff like that, but it wasn't emphasized as it is now. You know, you got all these chrome and chicken lights and all that, and that's all good. But a lot of the coolest drivers out there didn't have all that stuff. And why? Because they were working. They were working a lot. So, I'm not hating on somebody who has a nice, shined up, clean rig. But, I mean, back in the day, you didn't see that as much. But I enjoy looking at them. I enjoy looking at them for sure. I like the time that people spent in, you know, to fix up their ride. But the driver, they're sitting there and he's looking down, looking cool. And another thing that drivers used to do, after a long day driving a truck, you pull in to a truck stop, and you just sit there for a little bit. Some people will smoke a cigarette. I don't smoke. But I'll just sit there for a little bit and just look around. Just kind of think about it. Maybe call my wife. I don't see that as much either, you know. I don't see the drivers when they're at the truck stop, you know, congregating around each other's trucks and stuff and just shooting the breeze with other drivers. You don't see that anymore. I miss that. I miss that for sure. A lot of people don't even look at each other in the eye. You know, looking down. I miss the old ways. However, I could sit there and talk about how I miss it all the time. I try to do my part and bringing back that kind of feeling from the old days. You know, I got a radio, I got a kicker, you know. I say the trucker stuff on there, you know, even though I'm a ham radio guy, the CB, I love the CB too. And I like to sit low driving down the road, even though, you know, it's a Freightliner. I like to just look down at the cars and see, you know, the seat covers or whatever going on. That kind of stuff, you know, is cool. You see someone at a truck stop, you know, and maybe you like their truck, or maybe they drive for the same company, or something. Say, hey, what's going on? And both of you may have time and strike up a conversation. Then someone kind of walks up, and then all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 or 5 of you sitting there yakking. I miss stuff like that. I miss stuff like that. Of course, I don't go to truck stops, you know, as much as I used to back in the day, but back in the day it was a lot like that. You would see people having a little grill about that big and having either steaks or burgers or stuff, and you know, it didn't matter if you were a friend or not. Say, hey, I got some extra meat, you want some? You know, I miss that kind of stuff, you know. I miss that kind of stuff. And there's some other things that I think that should be involved with it, but I'm not gonna. It's a little too edgy. You could probably kind of catch my drift on it, you know. Anyways, I just wanted to cut this video just for that. Sorry about the lack of facial hair. I'm gonna get it back, okay? I'm gonna get it back. It's a coming. It's a coming. This is only like a day shaved, okay? So it's rough. It's getting rough. I can't grow hair like Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart, I don't know what he does. He does it fat. Anyway, shout out to my boy Tony Stewart. And We'll talk to y'all later. 73.